So I saw that there's a little bit of a fascination with the punching. We'll start there. I have an agenda, not in a bad way. We'll worry about conquering the world later. I'll talk to you about my plans there. But my other agenda is to share this stuff. To that end, yesterday there was a good amount of question asking, but Kaiso mentioned that it happened towards the end, probably because your comfort level with me raised a little bit and then you felt like it was okay to ask questions, and that's wonderful, but let's not wait till the end to ask questions. As they come up, raise your hands. Some of you are doing a great job, but just simply, hi. Good, you weren't here yesterday. Hi. So, some of you did a good question, we're simply raising your hand. Do more of that. For God's sakes, I came all the way out to Arizona, right? I live on the East Coast. I came all the way out here. Use up all your question quota, right? So ask. There's no question that is, too silly, or he's just going to say you don't get it. No, there's not. If you don't understand, I'm here to provide understanding. So please, any and all questions. All right. So we have a fair amount of people. I don't know if we have enough pads. So what I want to do is, if you can work in groups of 3, I guess, because I see there's only a few pads on the wall. So work in groups of 3, and let's start with the punching thing. All right? Hey, let's go. So grab pads. I feel. Oh, cards, turn you. Cards, turn them in. Dee-da, da-da, dee-da. All right, so we all grouped up. All right, Steve, come here. All right. Come on. So yeah, cause Steve started this last night as we were leaving. He was asking about this stuff. Okay. First things first. You're not going to use your typical fist. You're not going to ball up your fist and smash. What I'm showing you is a sword grip. Right? This is a sword grip here. Right? Now, take, and a natural continuation of your sword grip creates your fist. So I'm going to take you one step removed back to your sword grip. If you notice that the sword grip, the opening here, which some schools, ours, refer to as Tatsunoguchi and Toranoguchi. Tatsunoguchi, Tora, the dragon's mouth and the tiger's mouth. Right? So this opening, this is the Guchi, the mouth. The web of the hand actually lines up with the ulna and the radius. That's what you want, because you're going to transmit, right? The very nature of hitting anything is impact, force goes into the object, and force comes out. That's the very nature of hitting anything. So if you're not ready for the impact and its recoil, it'll find the weakest part of your structure and collapse it, right? What the hell do you mean by that? Come up here. Put the pad down for a second. Make a fist, stick it out. Right? Tight, no, regular fist, tight. Right? If the structure is not in place, it'll find the weakest point of the structure and collapse it. In this case, that was Steve's elbow. This is what I want you to do to repair that structure. You're going to bend your forward knee slightly. You're going to lock out your rear leg. You're going to rotate your hips and align your shoulder with the strike. See the difference? When he stood in Shinzen-tai, it went right, the force went right through. So this is what you guys are going to be doing today. a small rotation at the hip so that you're no longer pistoning this strike, right? Treating it like a piston that goes in and out, and you're going to deliver it with your hip so that at the moment of impact, the structure is in place. Okay? Those are how we're going to change this. I'll show you a couple of times. You're going to leave the strike open, right? And instead of pistoning the strike, which you can get a decent amount of power from, don't get me wrong, but I'm going to leave my strike here and I'm going to rotate my hips to deliver the strike. Rather than impact on the surface, I'm going to push through. You were asking about this. That's how they feel different. It's not this. It's that. I don't even get to do the subsequent strike. Right? I don't get that off because that keeps coming. So that's what you're going to do. Rotate. Use your hips to deliver the strike. How is that Aiki? Or what does that have to do with Aiki? It's a connected body that's delivering the strike, not a disconnected singular object. Right? And I'm gonna show you how this connected structure can deliver more than just a strike. Aiki isn't just for throwing. That's the biggest misconception that I want you to unravel. Aiki and a connected structure is not just for throwing people down to the ground. We can do that, that's cool. But it's not the only thing. Okay, so I want you to use your hips, right? Here, use your hips to deliver it. That's the same thing. That's the same structure that you use to deliver your Aiki. If I do just my, no, don't fall for it. Hold it down. If I just use my arm, right? But when I use my entire connected body, so that is how this punch is related to Aikiage, to Aikisage, a connected structure delivering the power, not musculature. Don't use muscular to deliver power. It'll fail you. You get exhausted, you've been in a fight for a long time, or you're just having a bad day, you have a cold. Well, your body doesn't care about a cold. Your structure doesn't rely on your mood. So when you deliver a strike in this fashion with Aiki, it's the same as you're doing Aikiage. You're delivering it with your structure. Try that for a bit. Work in groups of three, please. Go. Look how happy she is. Hit me. Oh, where's that coffee?
Oh,
Hey.
yeah.
No, you don't have to get up. I got it. What?
I don't think it's the same 0 calorie sweetener, but
What?
we do have some.
Oh, is this it? Oh, no, it's not.
No, it's right here.
Oh. Ha! Karate 101! I love it. Go. Right? You're gonna put here. Now, hold back. Don't let him push you through. Just with your arm, try to shove him. He's not going anywhere. Right? Rather now, leave that there and just rotate your hips. Keep rotating, push. He can't stop you. So that's the essence of it, right? Rather than, come on this side. So what you're doing is you're doing this, a piston. Get to this point here and rotate at your hips. There's nothing he can do to stop it. So it's the difference between, tighten up your stomach, it's the difference between hitting somebody like that and hitting somebody with a freight train that keeps going. You learn to do this, you'll kill people.
How much tension or
Okay,
how much?
leave that there, right there. Oh, coffee first. Oh, you're the wrong wrist shirt. Guys, stop for a second. I ran to go get this, and I thought you followed me, so I turned around and I was like, red shirt, oh, wrong red shirt. Bruce Renchi asked a really important question. How much tension is in the fist? Enough to hold the sword in place.
Okay.
So here,
Right.
that much tension.
Even upon impact.
Yep,
Right.
even upon impact. So, Jihad, hold the pad. Hold the pad.
You don't want that on your head.
So, when you strike, you should be striking as if you're still holding the sword. This is actually, technically, this is the cutting edge, right? So, if I was doing a sword cut, at the point of rotation, or the point of impact is actually the point of rotation. So I don't do a sword cut like this. I do a sword cut like this. Right? Why? The natural curvature of the blade will do the work. The natural curvature of the blade will do the work. You don't do this. Oh, but you're supposed to cut with the monouchi. Yes. You are supposed to cut with the monouchi. See the difference? I started at the bottom of the monouchi and sliced through my target. So what you're doing is you're delivering a sword cut, in particular shomen uchi. Shomen uchi is what you're doing, right? With this. But you see the opening? Boom. Now, am I saying that you're going to change your punching fist from this to this? No, but I'm saying that maybe your punching fist doesn't have to be so goju-ryu, like tensed up, like, ah! Like, Sensei told us, hold a robin's egg. If you can hold a robin's egg and punch something, and without smashing the egg, then you have the right structure, right? So don't squeeze for dear life. Plus you're robbing tension, you're robbing yourself of mobility. You're robbing yourself of mobility. You can't move as fast through a tense structure. It just doesn't work that way. You need to be able to go that fast. Right? So it's the same as if you're holding a sword. The same. Okay? Go, get back to work. Hi, dozo.
In the next interval, Sensei, could you talk about ranging? Because I'm seeing a lot of students leaning in.
Ah, yeah, absolutely. That's what I keep saying, is be in the same zip code as your target. Yeah. Yeah. Kaiso, just remind me of water breaks every once in a while.
Okay.
Because I don't think that way. I just start, and there's no stopping me. I must break you. I want to see Sean hit stuff. Because if Sean gets this, he's going to kill it. All right, guys, stop for a second. So Hanchi asked me to relay a message to you. You all suck. Was that that was the message? Yeah, okay. I mean, actually, the message you wanted me to convey and talk to you about is ranges. So some of you are punching from out here. Hiya! I'm sorry, but you're not in the same fight as that other dude. Right? Be in the same fight. This is the range. At the point of contact, your elbow should still be bent. If your arm is locked out at the point of contact, you're not in the same fight. That means everything is going to be very surfacey. Don't do that. Be at the very least, be in a range where your elbow is in tight. Now, if you're piston punching, fine. You get to here and then you extend the piston. Fine. That'll produce a decent strike. But if you're using rotation, this is just the very beginning of the movement. The rotation starts to deliver it all the way out. Could you be this tight and still piston punch? Guess what? That beloved piston punch of yours just went bye-bye. So now what you're going to do, now what you're doing is this you're doing here. You're surface punching again. But use rotation. Right? That's not piston punching, that's rotation. I'll do it to myself. I'll goof on myself too, right? I'm rotating on this axis here. I'm not trying to do this. I'm doing that rotation. The front of my gi actually goes from him to Steve to beyond, to them. Like that.
Right.
But range. This is never fighting distance. This is, I'm practicing, I don't know what you're practicing. This is good range. You could work connection through it. But if you stand this range, your piston punch is useless. Now you're back to surface punching. But rotation will fix that. Okay? So be mindful of that stuff. Brought to you by Hunchy.
Get close to your bar.
Greg, be in the same zip code, if not the same house. See, I love it. His first instinct is that, let me try that really up close one. I love it. I feel bad about his ankle. Shit. Yeah, exactly. I feel bad about his ankle. I knew he hurt it yesterday. I knew it. The minute he got up from his ukemi, he had a grimace on his face, and he tried to power through it. I'm like, we're done. Stop. I know that look. I know the look of you went too far. Crap. Hopefully it'll just heal up. It's a sprain. Nice, Nick. Now, Nick, when you did that, you got shoved out of it. Stay in it. Pin yourself to the ground. Root yourself to the ground. Go.
There we go.
That's better. That's better. All right? And you're going to rotate on this axis here. Like I just did that.
It's okay. So I just feel it on the
Yeah.
surface.
All right, go. All right, get close. First of all, get closer. Be in the same. All right? When you get to here, your elbow is going to be maxed out. You're not going to stretch it out anymore. Rotate with your hip and push through. You just move them. Go. Yeah. Different?
Yes.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Good. Guys, I'm horrible about water breaks and stuff like that. So Kaiso has been just gotta make sure it has the S on it. I don't want to drink from the K water. Kaiso will remind me. He's being kind enough to remind me. So let's take, and this is what I told Kaiso earlier. Let's take a point of understanding and then relate it back to what we were doing. So you guys seem to understand the punching thing, right? Well, let's take a moment to relate it back to Aiki-age, Aiki-sage, and Aiki-yoko. Because I'll take a point of understanding and then bring it back to what I was trying to show you earlier. I will show you, right, my hypothesis is, I feel like a professor, right? My hypothesis is that same rotation appears in Aiki-age, Sage, and Yoko. It's not a thesis, I know for a fact it works. Right? Eric, come on up. So, let's take it from this side here. I just asked you, so I just asked you guys to rotate along your center, right? And yesterday you guys were doing Aiki-age. And you were getting that's a nice, decent, this is Aiki-age. This is a mechanical 1.0 Aiki-age. Rotating around the thumb, lifting up, that's very mechanical. So now, let's 2.0 it. Let's add yet another rotation. We're going to rotate on two different planes. We're rotating on this axis, and we're going to rotate on this axis. And can you come through center? Right? So the danger with this Aiki-age, this Aiki-age, is that you can still push a little bit through center. But if I rotate on that plane, rotate on this plane, and then throwing him away is the same as delivering your punch. So now you're going to rotate on two axes. 1, 2. Okay? This. So you smoothly go. Like Sensei used to say, smoothly go, where no man has gone before. Right. I know you're a Trekkie. That's Aikiage. Aikisage, you guys were rotating around the pinky and creating that real weight. Now do that and rotate on your hip and create a real sinking. And then Aikiyoko is actually the one that's the most easy to see, or the easiest to see, is you do Aikiyoko and you rotate your hip and you send the dude flying. So now this was yesterday, this is today. See where my chest is? Yesterday you were chest to chest and you did this. And that was cool. That worked. I'm not saying it's wrong. I'm saying this is a much more sophisticated understanding of it, where I rob him of the ability to return to center. He can't come back to center. I'm in his way. I've replaced his center and his stability with my own. What was Aiki secret number 1? Your structure first, then theirs. So then now I can send Eric on his merry little way. Right? Yesterday's understanding, today's understanding. Small rotation. The same rotation you used to deliver that strike. Okay? Let's marry those two thoughts together. So I want you guys going back to Aikiage, Sage, and Yoko, but with this rotation here. If you're not sure how to create that rotation, draw an imaginary line from the top of your head to in between your feet, and you're rotating on that post. Some arts call that the yin-yang pole. Right? So this is akin to some of the Chinese internal arts that use this kind of pushing. Right? So he goes, hey, let's push exercises. Yeah. Right? Right? I try to push into his structure, or I can just collapse it. Yes, Felicia, I know. It looks horrible. Right? My structure first, then his. So you're pushing in on me and trying to collapse me, and I do the same. You could do it from inside or outside. Okay? Tai Chi, hold the ball. Hold the ball. Right? You can rotate on that axis. So all roads lead to Rome. What I'm showing you is not that, oh, I could do Chinese martial arts too. I'm showing you that one premise is probably the truth to many secrets. A connected structure is probably more important than physicality. Try. Hot damn, Hanshi, yes. That's it. Welcome to Aikiage 2.0.
Thank you, Sensei.
Right up off. Right up off. So yesterday's mechanical one is like day one beginner type stuff. You can get that, sure. Add that secondary rotation, and he's just not coming back. It blows him away. And that's the kind of Aikiage that the person just can't come back from. It doesn't matter if you go to put your foot down. Like do the first mechanical Aikiage. And then stamp your foot and put your foot down, because you can, right? No. Check this out. Take him from there and stand him right next to me, right here. When they start to solidify the body understanding, they can predictably move someone to where their intent goes. Okay, I made you cry last year. This time this is tears of joy, correct? Okay, because last year I made you cry and that messed me all up. All right, go. That was the tears of joy. That's fabulous. Now you know, not only do you know the mechanics of it, you could predict where you're going to put him because you kind of can visualize it and make it happen. Amazing. Perfect. So, see, now Kaisa wants to do it. Kaisa's like, screw that, I can do that. And now you're doing it with Aikiyoko. Good. So you don't need the full-on connection.
Right.
You just need the understanding, right? So you could do, of course, cross-body, nanamede, or you could do same side. Right? And it doesn't have to be Aikiyoko. I mean Aikiage, Aikisage. It can be Aikiyoko.
Right.
Do that same structure. I just don't want them returning, so I turn. Right? So again, these are not parlor tricks. It's just to show that I'm responsible for closing up. That's actually what we're going to work on next. All right, guys, stop for a sec. All right, two things. Water break, right? Because I'm capable of learning. Water break will start back up at exactly 11, and then we're gonna leave Aiki Age, Aiki Sage, Aiki Yoko alone for a little bit, and we're gonna talk about the middle finger rotation, or the middle finger as a point of rotation, which is actually from the tip of your finger to your elbow. And the reason why I'm gonna segue to that, number one, it was part of my agenda. Number two is because you already started to explore that rotation. All right, so if you're coming to it on your own, it's time to help you like segue into it. So water break, and then we're going to talk about this next rotation along the kote. All right, kote gaishi as aiki, not as a technique. Kote gaishi, inverting the pronating and supernating the ulna and the radius. Go drink water. Go. Oh, okay. That's how she was ready for me. Always be ready. All right, questions, observations, thoughts so far? Okay.
And you couldn't quite understand it.
So you're saying cross body?
No, instead of having your hand be on the inside, having your hand be on the outside.
Okay. Show us. Go.
Oops. Okay.
So what are the difficulties you're experiencing?
Like I'm already too far off of there.
Okay, so let's correct a couple of things. Center up, because you already copped the lean, right? That pull from top of the head to in between your feet. And I'll call it Aikiage. Do Aikiage from there. Okay? So your problem wasn't the point of connection, was with your structure. Start with your structure first, right? Let's correct your structure. Nose over navel, body stable. Platitude number 67, right? But it's true. Platitudes start with a bit of truth, right? So nose over navel, body stable, right? Now what I want you to add to your Aikiage is the following. You're going to inhale, suck in your abdomen, and let your hand float up through that connection. Not an ounce of power, but powerful. Now, we're going to reverse the process. You're going to exhale, actually pour out of your belly and create Aikisage. Just literally pour out of your belly. No, you had them. You just did the whole, I'm not sure what I'm doing here. Intent leads, right? Intent leads your movement. So intend to Aikisage. Do the intention, lower the hand, go through his structure. What the problem is? That's your answer. So intent is something that has to be brought to bear in any Budo, any, not just Aikido or Aiki or Jujitsu. Intent, where you stick your mind, is where the technique will follow. Platitude number 63, clear your mind, your ass will follow. It is true. Get your mind out of doubt, self-doubt, and confusion, and just keep the purity of the intent. Mr. Nick. Side by side, please. Right? And then just connect here. Palm, yeah, like that. Keep your intent true and pure. You didn't show us that. Aiki Secrets number 2 this year, next year, this time next year. Keep your intent where you need it. Keep your intent where you need it. All right? So that's a little bit of how far this rabbit hole goes. Do you even need to be face to face with them? You don't. Right? And the connection, you saw no movement in me. I promise you that there was a ton of movement in me. But intent is where it starts. Right? So here. Boom. Side by side. Right now, Kaisho's going, that's Jedi AF. Right? Go. So now let's talk about this other rotation. From the tip of your middle finger to the front of your elbow. Not the tip of your elbow, the front of your elbow here. So this, as if a skewer was running all the way through it. You're going to rotate, not this, that's at the wrist. You're going to rotate completely here to here. And the movement we're going to use, Renchi, please. So katate dori de. Katate dori, and you're going to rotate here. Rotate here. I created a little bit of an Aikiage movement in just that entry, right? So don't enter like that. Right? I kind of jolted you, but can you settle back down? Yeah, you can. Rotate this way. Can you settle back down?
Nope.
I'm under him now. And by being under him, I could throw. Okay? So now you're going to time it here. That's your rotation. Boom. This is your rotation. Boom. Right? I would have you guys start from a grip, but then you'll do this and get very used to feeling resistance and feedback. I need you to just create it. Now there is, why was this not first? Because we needed to do the 2.0s first. Because inherent in this movement is this movement. Look at where we start and look at where we end up. Make sure that secondary rotation is part of that's actually the mechanism that delivers this. Okay? Yes, sir.
Does your elbow come out or does it turn into your body?
I'll give you a Japanese answer. Mite. You rotate the whole thing. You're rotating the entire. This is kote gaeshi. Kote gaeshi. Inverting the kote. Inverting the forearm. Inverting. So you'll start out thumb up, and by the time you reach out to them, you'll be damn near thumb down. Not exactly, because then you leave yourself in a weakened position. It's 45-ish. And what happens is you wind up gathering them upon contact and getting their foot right off. And then this small rotation just finishes the job. Try that. Okay? So in some circles, that's referred to as hitorigeko. The problem with hitorigeko is that hitorigeko means self-practice. So you're supposed to practice this on your own. Hitorigeko, self-practice, so that you're getting that timing of this rotation. So now what people do, and this is what I did in the beginning, is, oh, cool, Sensei, you mean this?
Beat it.
Right? You mean that? And after a while, he got fed up and went, yeah. Right? It's not that. It's that. And that only happens because of this rotation. So it's not about this impact. You could create impact without any rotation. It's the rotation. And as he closes his grip and firms it up, he just seals the deal. Now, originally we were taught this, Suso Skami. This is the jiu-jitsu iteration. So here, punch, grab, Suso Skami. And then you have jiu-jitsu. The Aiki that evolved from that is this. Suso Skami was the original jiu-jitsu waza. Because now what I did is, I just locked the door. Now you can't leave. I go all Bronx tail on him, right? Now you can't leave. This is the same understanding, right? So this, the displacement. The displacement happens with these two rotations in tandem. And he can't come back in. He just cannot come back in. If I do just this,
Connect to you if you didn't.
you have to abandon ship to do it.
Yeah.
If I just did this, he could come back in at will. It's this. He has got no stability to work with.
Yeah.
All right?
Contact in order to
So,
do that.
boom. All right? Yes, sir. Gather them up and then you rotate them. That's the original jiu-jitsu application. What happened is that got translated into that. Where I don't need that gi grab, but if I absolutely had to, here's a good piece of jiu-jitsu. Grab his gi and twist and mess up his whole arm. But I don't need that. It's there, but I don't need it. But your entry should be sleeves, even with his sleeves rolled up, as if I was trying to reach and put my fingers in there. Not this. You could crush this, yeah. Don't enter like this, he'll crush you. Right? Enter like this, he can't crush it. Right? He may be able to shove you a little bit, but then you rotate and get him off, right? Don't do this. Right? Put weight on it. It's this. I'm not that strong. How you guys doing with it? Oh, cool. Now, slow it down. Don't make it so explosive. Because he flew off of you, you want him to stay sticky with you. Go. Yeah, that's good. So when you did it, you actually did it so explosively. So I catch. You did it so explosively, he flew off of you. It's more like ease into it so that you could get that. You want that control because this is not the end game. The end game is then some sort of throw. So if I bounce you off, so then what are you going to do? You're just going to come back. Now, I was going to grab you originally, but now I'm going to punch the hell out of you, right? So he was angry enough to grab you, and then you shoved him away. Now he's even angry. Now he's going to punch you.
Now I got momentum.
Now he's got a hell of a punch. Good job. You just set him up for a hell of a punch, right? So stay sticky with him, and if he tries to cross over, then throw him away. Right? But you see him cock his hand, he can't really do much from that weakened position. And then you say, okay, sure, go ahead, punch me, dude, I dare you. Yeah. And then now you use that momentum to throw, not to get punched. Don't set him up for a punch. Oh, yes, sir.
Working with beginner students,
Yeah.
and I was trying to see how to
Okay, great.
way how here.
So he's grabbing you all the way up here. That
Yeah.
means you shoved your arm in too soon. Wait a little longer. And there. Right here.
Right.
And then take your thumb and put it down to the ground. That's better. Okay? So don't shove your arm so soon.
Right.
He's reaching out to grab you. Grab me for a second.
Okay.
Right? I wait. If I do this, he winds up grabbing me at the top of the forearm.
right.
So wait. Grab. Boom. And then shove through the structure. All right? So I gotta. Hanshi! Let's play with swords. Look at the sweat. Look at it. Wow, he's. I just want to get, and now just like everything. This is a good book. This is a good book, though. Here, so, I just had this conversation with Cole that needs to happen with everybody. It's about neutralization at the point of contact. Everything isn't about swords, and not everything ties back to swords, but a good portion of this does. Right? So, ski that. So, boom. And he's going to kill me if I don't do something. And yes, I could bat the sword away. But we're going to continue this conversation, and it's going to go on for a bit. And it's a conversation I really didn't want to have. Right? He led with a bad... This conversation was going to be a bad one anyway. So, the neutralization at the point of contact, right? He goes to ski. It's not, he goes to ski and I go, bash, and dash. The conversation goes on and on. It's going to be ski, neutral. That's what you're doing with this entry, is neutralizing one force and ending the other. Right? Can you guys see that? Right? So, what you guys are, katate dori is the ski. Katate dori is the ski. This is you meeting to match them, neutralizing their power, and this is the subsequent rotation. I didn't do this. Because why? Because reasons. Because reasons, right? Because if I parry this and load up, then he knows what to do next. Assume they have an equal amount of training. So when I parry this, it missed. He's got the Suba, presumably, that stopped this sword cut. So then I pick up the sword and cut. So your question would be, why don't you just cut from here? Suba. Suba would have stopped that cut. Now these Bokken or the Fukuroshinai don't have Suba. We know that swords do. So we act in accordance to that. Right? So ski comes in, small parry, which is your entry, rotate your forearm, cut. Conversation over. I really want to talk to you about those $20 you owe me. Can we talk about that later? End the conversation. Don't have, but I really need the money. Oh, I don't have it today. Can I catch you on Friday? You better. Don't make a fool of me, man. This is some really good OJ. Guys with me? Family Guy? No? Okay. So this is the same. We're both in Chudan, right? We're both back up a little. We're both in Chudan no Komai, right? And he goes to stab. 1, 2. How did I enter? Did you see it? You didn't. We were here. I did the parry. I did my rotation. That delivered my sword. And then cut through center. That's the same. Katate dori de. That's the same thing you're doing now. We started out like this. We end like this. Notice that both of us have the same rotation. We're both rotating out. This informed this. There was an interim step I showed Sean. This was the interim step. This is the original Jiu-Jitsu waza. Suso Skami. Grab the inside of the gi, gather it up, and rotate. Good old-fashioned Jiu-Jitsu. He grabs my arm, I reach up for the Suso. That became this very elegant waza. So ski became Susoskami. Susoskami became Aiki. That's the progression. So when you hear a good portion of Jiu-Jitsu comes from swordsmanship, I just traced it out for you. Right? I used to hear that coming up, and the first question I would show me. Because I saw it as a platitude. You know a good portion of Jiu-Jitsu comes from swordsmanship. Show me. Don't tell me, show me. Well, I'm doing the same thing for you. I just showed you how a ski counter, kaishi ski, right? Kaitishi kote uchi is what I showed you. Then I showed you how that became a jujitsu response, right? Oh, everyone wears long sleeve kimonos. Cool. Gather it up and then throw them to the ground. And then, oh, we don't need that. We could just do the rotation. Right? And then in modern day application, I don't know how many people walk around with like gi tops. They should. It's very fashionable. Looks nice. But, you know, the likelihood is that they have a short sleeve t-shirt on. So he goes to grab you, and you don't have a suso to grab, but you have the structure to abuse. Right? And if you see how soft I'm being, don't do tension. It's literally kotegaeshi. Your hand and your wrist have nothing to do with this, except for that I'm trying to get you to rotate from the tip of your finger to the tip of your elbow. Why not rotate all the way around? What do you have now? That's why. Because I don't want this crap done to me. So I stop where he no longer has an entry point, which is it's 45. It's about 45-degree angle. Okay? So again, I had this fascination when I was younger with jiu-jitsu, and then I would have instructors that told me again, you know, swordsmanship and jiu-jitsu are related. Well, then I went off and I studied swordsmanship. And my sword teachers would say, you know, if you just take the swords away, this really becomes jiu-jitsu. I told both instructors, show me. Both instructors came back to me with answers. And then I'm bringing them to you today as Aiki. Right? Do you see it has to trickle down. And I know it's a tad abstract that, you know, ski, koteuchi, into something like this. But when it's traced out for you, it's not so abstract, is it? It's not so far-fetched. It's because it's very clear, but it also informs the urgency of the movement. Do you do this? Katate dori. I had a lot more urgency when he was trying to ski me, was it, right? I had a lot more urgency, so bring that urgency back. Bring that urgency back. This idea of like, I got plenty of time to do this counter. Yeah, okay. Hansi has a few thoughts on that idea. Right? It's more like, boom. Do you have anything that you can work with? All right, I'll see you later. All right, go, get back to work. Swords are jujitsu, jujitsu are swords. Yay. Have the air of trying to reach out and grab. Right? And then rotate. There you go. So the problem is you cut across her too soon, you leave her behind. It's as if I was trying to grab this. Like that. If I do it too shallow, you could push in and collapse me. I don't want to be collapsed. I want to go all the way through. Okay. Straighten up, reach out, and act as if you were trying to grab his uniform. There you go. He drifts away.
Does that make sense?
So don't lean forward, because then he'll cramp you up. Turn more, and then turn. Yeah, actually, you just did it at the last minute. Turn here, and then that blows him away. So rotate and then turn your waist real hard, like that. Go. Now, it feels like he might feel like he's crushing you. Don't do that too soon. Push in first. Now turn. That's better. Okay. Let's see how you guys are doing. Okay. Act, for all intents and purposes, act as if you're still trying to do this. So that means this will stay connected to him longer. Don't rotate too soon, because you could collapse him. Push down. He can collapse you, right? Actually, in a little bit, we're going to talk about this one. We're going to talk about that one. Because the natural progression is rotating palm down and then rotating palm up. So we're going to talk about what happened. So ultimately, let's say I got there too late and I started to do this and he started to do that. You turn it around. Okay? But Keep it pure as possible, as if you were still trying to do that. And then here. So you see how much tension I'm putting? You should be here. No tension on the sleeve. Right? Stay sticky to them. Stay sticky to them. Don't do that. You can crush this. Go ahead. Yeah, you can, right? It's this. You can't crush that structure. And then I rotate through it. Okay? Try to get that. Sean, we were just having this conversation, right? Sean, come here. So, this is not the only rotation. Palm up is also a rotation, right? So, this is what's happening over here. I'm sorry, your name? Jason? Jason was working with Sean and rotating like this, disconnected. And Sean was bringing his mass to bear. That's a problem. You should act, for all intents and purposes, if you were still trying to do that suso skami, or that suso grip, or grabbing the inside of the sleeve. Here, and then rotate. Right? But what happens if you get to here, bend your elbow and crush. You get to here and you're at an impasse. Rotate the hand the other way. Okay, so now I want you guys to start this way and rotate out. Okay? Now, in some groups, ours, that's referred to as kono hagaishi. Kono hagaishi. Leaf turning. That's the leaf. It's turning. So, how did this come about? 'Cause swords. Stay right there. Do 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 do. Samurai desu. He didn't see you. I'm going to reach for my sword. Sean goes, oh hell no. I go, no, dude, seriously, I'm going to reach for my sword. So, kono hagai, boom. Kono hagaishi de. You should have stayed there. I was going to take your head. There can only be one. Boom. Kono hagaishi de. Right? That's where this comes from. You're reaching for the, boom. Kono hagaishi. How dare you? Right? Let's say I was further along in my draw and he did that. Right? That became that. So you do it empty-handed, but again, this was old school weapon retention. Not that one. This one. He's like, or let's say he did something incredibly crazy, like reach out and grab my skull. Ooh. No. Right? So does it have to be from a grab? No. You can grab them and kono hagaishi. Right? That's what you're going to work on next. Right? Don't whiplash.
Okay.
So start from kind of a defeated position.
Right.
And then from here, drop your elbow, rotate.
Very cool. And then add the rotation. Right.
Because that's how he's going to fall.
Okay. Right.
It's that powerful. Boom. It's that powerful.
Right.
So you had every full intention of doing this one. Midway, he bears down and tries to clamp down. So you go the other way.
Right.
Right? So think of it as kaishiwaza now. I went to go do this one, and he somehow picked up on it. Mm-hmm. You either too late or disconnected. So fine, you still can fix it. Or as a like old school, I reach for my sky and he clamps down, and I can't draw my sword, so I clear some space. And there's a lot of weight on the underside of my hand. So it's not just a rotation flip with no mass. And then the rotation is actually what takes them out. The rotation is always what creates the momentum, right? It's that's why you can isolate this stuff and just do this, and then that changes. Okay, now why outside? Or actually why this way? Because rotating this way actually sets him up for a better position. He can actually now shove in. No, just shove in. I don't want that. I want him away. Let's say he reaches out and grabs as desperation. It's still not going to be enough, right? So you can shove him away. Felicia, I need a water. Can you get me a water, please? Thank you. I'll work with you for a second. Thank you, Felicia. Go. Good, good, good. That's better. Try this side. The space between us, keep it equidistant. That's better. Good, good, good. Do it again, do it again. Nah, don't yank. Yes, yes, yes. Good. Yes. Now, turn. Now I'm doing this old death grip to make sure that you can't use muscle. That's better. That's better. Right? So I'm giving you not to be a jerk, but to make sure that you can't do that. That has to be the answer. That has to be the answer. Good.
Thank you.
All right, how are you guys doing with this?
We're feeling good. We're going here, and then we give a gap for them to push in, and then we.
Yeah. Okay.
But I feel really good in this when I get to this point here.
My bottle's gone. Thank you.
Get him a new one.
No, she was looking.
So when I get in here and I come this way, when I start the rotation,
Be careful. The space in which to operate in.
I
You did this and you let him in.
I-
He's got structure right now.
I
You have more. Tell him what you have.
yeah.
Take it away from him.
Okay.
The space in which to operate in.
So here.
Yeah.
Now is that the right spot?
Yeah.
Yeah, that feels good because I'm already on my heels and I'm already feeling it back in
Now
here.
from here, the rotation has a drag to
No.
it. It feels like it does.
Right.
And the drag's there.
We're back there again.
Hi.
So, right. Boom. The space in which to operate in.
Hi.
Or more simply put, here.
Hi.
The line from my shoulder, or actually the line from my elbow to his elbow has to be continuous.
Okay.
I'll make it a shorter line. My elbow to his elbow. My mind to your mind. Right? So now we're talking about this rotation
Right.
happening to you too,
Hi.
as a thing. Not, I'm using it to fight with, he's using it on the receiving end.
Hi.
So be mindful. Anytime you do this, tell them what you feel. The power. So this is crap. What happens is this is crap. And then you try to muscle through it and you try to fix things, but you never negated that.
Hi.
And he's being super kind by not punching me in the mush.
Hi.
So yes, I am letting him back down, but I'm not letting him back in. In is not an option.
Okay.
In is not an option. And let him know when you feel like you.
I
those
believe
are-
the S is for you.
Oh, thank you. Yeah. Thank you, Felicia. I'm resisting the urges to say bye, Felicia. You know that, right? Bye, Felicia. Yeah. Yes, sirs.
Trouble understanding the motion of it.
Yeah. So are we supposed to go?
Okay, so don't do it as a big old rotation. So, here, I'll do it to you. I mean, I'll do it on here. I'll help you. It's this. See how I'm attaching your hand? Don't do a rotation like that because it's disconnected.
Okay.
It's like that.
And then do I bring it in towards me?
Right there, just let it drop. right, guys, stop, because Jaden, right?
Daniel.
Jesus Christ. Where's Jaden? No, the other Jaden. He's not here. You're who?
Daniel.
No, you're Jaden. Daniel is making a decent mistake that everyone's going to gain some understanding from. Do it again and get to your sticking point on purpose. Right there. That's your sticking point, right? It's like that's where it maxes out. All right, go back. What you're going to do is, instead of getting to a point where you already have decided you're sticking to, you're going to put your arms, where do your arms go when you're not using them? They don't go out there, do they? Put them back where they go. Yeah. Now at your belt, your obi, right? The knot of your obi should face Ueshiba Sensei when you're done. Rotate your obi, rotate. Okay? So, Daniel's question was, like, where do I go now that I've maxed out? You didn't max out. You didn't finish the movement, right? You got to here and you called this maxed out. That's empty. Remember I said empty? Right? All right, you also karate kid, ne? Right? Guess what they were talking about? The same power we're talking about. The same rotation. That was the grand secret of the Miyagi-Do karate. And for us, it's just like Aiki secret number 2. Right? It's that your tanden creates movement. And the emptiness of your structure creates everything. So when you did this and called it topped out, now, that's topped out. And then I needed you to add the secondary rotation. So do that. All right, try. Miyagi! Come on! Hanshi, give yourself space to work in. Hot damn. That's the stuff. All right, same thing as Daniel. Here, there's like tension. It just pour out. Oh, yeah. Give your bro a hug.
I would have given you a hug. All you do is ask.
Just pour out. Just pour out. Yeah. It's really about stopping them. Yeah.
Cut it.
But that's a finite movement. That has a beginning and an end to it. This has to be, yeah. That's the power from no. Yeah, don't blast into it, because blasting into it has a starting point and an end point. That has no start point, no discernible start point, no discernible end point. That's really much more powerful. Guys, stop for a second. What's your name? I'm sorry.
Ronnie.
Ronnie. All right, so Ronnie made a great mistake. Come here. Not you. You're Ronnie. I want Sean. So Ronnie got to a point where he's like, he's not falling. Do you really think you're going to pull Sean off of it? This is actually funny, right? Ronnie, hell no. That's not going to happen. Not in your lifetime. Actually, talk to Kaiso. He's got these protein shakes. You'll bulk up. And it's still not going to happen. And it's not going to happen. No way. No freaking way. But I'm not asking you to do that. I'm asking you to trip his ass. I'm not asking you to pull him off of his center. I'm asking you to knock him off his center. His ankles can't support his own mass. Right? So he's standing there, right? His knees and hips do a great job of stabilizing him. Your ankles, on the other hand, not so much. So what are we doing? We're breaking their ankles. We're breaking their ankles. Your ankles can't do that. Your ankles can't trace this movement. Yeah. See all the skating he just did? Watch him skate. Your ankles can't handle that. That's why you're designed with hips and knees to stabilize. But your ankles, nah, they can't do shit about that. So what we're doing is we're attacking their ankles. Try that, Ronnie. Because the other stuff ain't gonna happen. All right, go.
I don't feel anything.
Okay.
I don't feel
All right.
reaction.
Let's try it. Let's try it. Okay. So don't whip around him and leave him behind. So Jihad's right. You're not affecting him, right? So what you're going to do is slight push in, and then across, and then down. Feel this. This is what you're doing. You're just going up and over. In, around, and then across. You see how? Oh, and then there's your ankles that can't support your mass. So put the weight on his ankles.
Okay.
All right? Feel for it. Aha! Nicely done. All right, guys, stop for a second. Take a moment to switch partners, please. Experience and a water break. All right, water break till 12 o'clock. 12 o'clock, yes? Yeah. Water break till 12. Come back, work with different partners, please. I need you to experience, plus this pairing is like, I applaud your effort. You picked a hell of a person to learn on. But do that. Experience other partners because you need to be able to produce consistent results across different body styles. Why does that matter? What is ultimately the lesson? Your structure stays regardless, or that's not a word, regardless of the opponent, your structure is the same. So you should be able to get consistent results because your structure first, their structure second. You're going to make alterations, adjustments for this new structure, but ultimately your main structure is intact because it's your own. That is your Aiki secret. That a connected body doesn't require anything from the other side. So it's not two spirits joining in harmony. I just yelled inside. Don't do that stuff. That's not Aiki. That's something else. That's momentum. That's dealing with I don't know, stuff. Don't deal with other stuff. Deal with your own stuff. Your own connected structure. Start there. 12 o'clock, then we get back into it. Water break. Eric, show me what you're talking about. No. You, Ronnie, show me on Eric what you're talking about.
So, coming up, I'm not hooking and going in there. Just keeping it flat.
Okay. I'm going to give you a Japanese answer. Explore that. Okay. Go back to hooking in and tell me what you feel. What do you feel?
Well, a little pressure right here when I go jump forward.
Okay, I'm going to tell you what that pressure is. That pressure is his entire mass stopping you from moving. Because when you hook, you're circling back into his mass. Same conversation as with Sean. You ain't gonna move them, right? So you did this and you cut into his structure. It's not gonna go anywhere. So try it again. Boom, it's not gonna go anywhere, right? So get to here, stay on top of it, and then do this, just pour out. Okay? No hooking, right? Catch. If I hook, even with you, there's your structure. I can't do anything about it. I can't do anything with it. Right? I did this and you thought you had half a second to get up. Right? So again, Ronnie's asking, when you come around and you hook like this, it feels like this might be a technique. It could possibly be, but not going through their structure. It bangs into it. All right? But we'll use Ronnie's question to segue into something better. Hey, Dozo, go back. let's say that happened to you. Let's say you went out, around, and here, right? And you got hooked. What did I just change from Ronnie's example? You're close. You're close. I didn't put my hand anywhere. That was Ronnie's example. This is mine. What did I do? I pulled it more towards, I put his elbow in front. Remember what I said about the void? The space in which to work? The void, the space in which to work. So now let's work on this. We'll do this one. Ronnie's question will lead to an exploration of waza. So now you're going to go out, around, uchi mawari. So you have uchi mawari means to encircle. I'm sorry, I forget. But uchi mawari, encircle, inside. But sensei, if there's inside, is there outside? Oh, hell yeah. Soto mawari. You guys call it nikado, or nikyo, sorry. So you already know what soto mawari is. We even did some of this last night. Uchi mawari, on the other hand, leads to that. Now, follow this thought all the way through. You have shihonage. Tan-ta-da-da. You guys know shihonage, so let me give you something you don't have. Or you may not have, I should say. Up, right? Sorry, I apologize. Ori tataki. Fold it, smash it. Ori tataki. Okay? Yes, sir.
Are you taking it down or are you taking it in?
Eric, he asked a question. Go. You're free and clear, Eric. Bye. Steve from Tallahassee, Texas asks, did I ori tataki, to fold and to smash? That pretty much answers it, right?
Right.
It's not fold and caress. This gets awkward. Right? No tears, just dreams. Right? Actually, you shaved this one. Huh? That's great. What brand razor are you using? That's awesome.
The Dollar Shave Club.
Oh, I use Harry's. All right, so what you're going to do is, please don't do the following. Stay within your own center. Again, let's not concern ourselves with uke's comfort. Are you terribly comfortable today? Can I get you a pillow? No. Let's take uke's structure and really ruin it. Ori, ori, tataki. All right. Miss Cole. This is not even our final form. She's there. Aha! Right here. Not here. Cole, tell them what you're feeling. It sucks, but it's not that. Right? So don't hit the top of the wrist. Sorry, I just gave it away. Don't hit the back of the hand. It's not koba. Don't hit koba. Hit kote. Kote kabuse. To cover the wrist. Tekubi kabuse. Tekubi kabuse. You take all the stops out of the elevator. 1, 2. Okay? Try. Good job, kiddo. Cole has become strong. Holy shit. Cole, you're strong now. That's awesome. You gotta feel it. You gotta feel it, feel it. So you get to here, and then envelop all the way to here. Right? Don't do this. It's
Right.
here. Let him have his grip. Encourage his grip. Get it to here. Right? Don't hit here. Okay. So, Jihad, let me have you.
Hey.
So, get on this side so you can see. So, because I'm going to actually go that way. Move over a little bit. You guys stay there. So, when you guys circle in and around, don't make this huge. Make it small. Make it really small. Look how his elbow is actually inside his gut. And then here. Down. Okay, so 1, 2, down.
Hey.
Come feel. I promise I'm not going to do this hard. If I do this big, what do you feel? It's kind of loopy, right? It's just like
You
like
have time to go against it. And
Yeah.
let go and then retaliate.
perfect. Actually, you're coming with me. Guys, stop for a second. What's your name again?
Elena,
Elena, tell them what you just said. So describe this movement to them.
I feel like I could let go and then retaliate. I could always let go.
Hansi says he can't hear you.
So
Project. Tell him.
I feel like I can just let go and then retaliate and punch him. while
Okay.
he's making the big
So when I'm making, what's the last word?
loop. The big loop.
The big loop. No big loop. Mawadi means to encircle. This is not encircling. This is tracing a circle. Encircle. Be vicious about your movement. Except Elena's like much younger than I am, so I'm not going to hurt her. Not that crazy. But envelop, catch, and encircle. Can you guys see what's happening to Elena right now? The big loopy movement, that's a ball and socket joint. What does it handle well? Rotation. Ha! Da, 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 da. Ah, it handles rotation well. Good dancing too, by the way. All right, so it handles that. It's kind of built for that. What doesn't handle rotation? The wrist. It doesn't handle rotation. So what happens to make up for it, because what are you feeling? I'm feeling you twisting my arm. Yeah. So what do? To alleviate that? The body's natural response is to alleviate the pressure, but at the detriment of their structure. So then this happens. Right? So that's what you're doing. Don't make big loopy motions like Elena just expounded on. Make a small, tight loop. Now, what does this look like I'm holding? Not everything is swordsmanship. Everything is swordsmanship. Okay. Hansi, let's play with